if you give 100 naive people a meditation instruction, I don't know what percentage will find anything of interest there, but some considerable number of people, if you're selecting randomly, will close their eyes and look within and attempt to follow whatever instruction you give them, and very likely find nothing of interest, right? Nothing will happen,
Hmm.
and they'll
Hmm.
walk away perplexed and perhaps grateful not to have to waste their time on that project for even a minute longer. Whereas 100 naive people given the sufficient dose of psilocybin or LSD or any other psychedelic, something like 100% of those people will have a radical change in their experience. And, as we've already discussed, some of those changes could be starkly unpleasant, and they'll come away feeling like that was not a good experience. But for a very high percentage of people, with the appropriate set and setting, they will have one of the most important and transformative experiences of their lives. Yet that transformation and the associated importance will be the result of radical changes in the contents of consciousness. There'll be, all of their neurotic, normal thoughts will be blown away, and what will be left is something like the classic beatific vision that one encounters in spiritual and mystical and religious literature. In some ways, the center of the bullseye meditatively is orthogonal to all of the extraordinary changes that can happen for a person taking psychedelics, and yet they're quite complementary and supportive in ways that we have discussed. I mean, one is, many people just can't even get started with meditation but for first having had a psychedelic experience. And conversely, many people have a much better psychedelic experience based on their meditative experiences and the training they've had in just letting go of thought and conceptualization and negative emotion and not clinging to experience itself as a basic orientation. So it's sort of hard to talk about, I think, but there's at least for me personally, meditation and psychedelics have been kind of two wings of the bird of, having a first-person mode of inquiry into the nature of mind. And it's, I can't view either as dispensable, and yet they're quite different when taken separately at any point in one's journey and for a significant period of time.
Yeah, that actually leads me to propose what I think will be a really interesting future direction for research, and that is integration of intermittent and perhaps low dose psychedelic use with meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So, with a foundation of a meditation practice, and then low dose psychedelics imposed on that. And I will confess to
Mm-hmm.
having done a week-long meditation retreat, and 3 days into the retreat,
Mm-hmm.
taking a microdose of LSD on the order of 10 micrograms, which is, sometimes said to be subperceptual, but that's that's not right. But it's barely perceptible.
Mm-hmm.
But what my experience of that was that it just supercharged the retreat experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were going through cycles of meditation and walking, and that all was just beautifully intensified. But there was nothing discontinuous from straight out meditation retreat experience. And so I think there's a lot to be done there.